Welcome everyone to another week of the Focus TV. We have Raymond Lyons here, Ricardo Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr. And again, it's season 8, episode 5 of the Focus TV. As always, we'll get started with the NFC East. I'll fill in for Octavia this week with that. Since she's not here, we're going to start with the Eagles. Eagles 22, Panthers 16. Despite another win, one that came with a scare late as Bryce Young found a wide open Xavier Legette late in the game. The young rook dropped what could have been a game tying pass because the way kickers have been acting this year, nobody knows if they would have got the extra point or not, but it would have tied the game at 22. I mean, wide open behind the defense, hit him in, the hands. He just didn't pull it in. Saquon Barkley did a lot of heavy lifting for the Eagles once again. He broke former Eagles running back LaShawn McCoy's record of 1,607 yards in a season with 124 yards on the day. That pushed him to 1,623 on the year. They still got a few more games to go. Jalen Hurts had just 108 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns despite that paltry amount of passing yards, but Philly's passing game has struggled as of late. And, of course, A.J. Brown was asked a question about what he thought the Eagles could do better. His response was passing. Just passing. Passing, period. No help. No follow-up statements. No, well, maybe I can get in and out of my breaks. No, just, what happens on Monday mornings. Folks get to try to show little clips of tape. And, AJ was open a little bit. But either way, they're 11-2. They're 11-2. They're the second seed in the NFC. They'll host the Steelers next week. The Saints, 14. The Giants, 11. I don't know how anyone got through this game. I think every fandom has limits. This would have been mine. The Giants continue to go through it. They had a game-time field goal blocked by Saints defensive tackle Brian Bresee. The win keeps the Saints' playoff hopes on life support, while the Giants continue to work their way to earning, a top 2 pick. Drew Lock went 21-49 for 227 yards and an interception. Malik Neighbors had 5 catches for 79 yards. I know he can't wait for the draft to see whichever quarterback they choose and maybe a new coach or whatever gets started. Derek Carr, 20 for 31, 219 yards, and an interception. And then, late in that game, he tried to get a little too mobile, got airborne. And, this is not college. You tend to go airborne in the NFL, people still hit you. He injured his hand, did not finish the game. I'm not sure if he's going to return this season. Things don't get better for the Giants as they host the Baltimore Ravens next week. Again, working their way to securing that top 2 pick. Bengals 27, Cowboys 20. Dallas had their hearts broken last night once again as they were in a tie game with the Bengals late. They got to stop. They're set to get the ball back after the 2-minute warning when Nick Vigil blocked the Bengals punt. Amani Oriwari tried to pick up the bouncing ball and couldn't secure it, allowing the Bengals to recover the ball at their own 43-yard line with 1:53 left in the game. Had it been blocked and he doesn't try to recover it, it's Cowboys ball with 1:53 left, game tied at 20. Mistakes have consequences. 3 plays later, Joe Burrow found Jamar Chase, who got past Deron Bland in the open field and got the go-ahead score. 1:01 left on the game clock. Both teams moved to 5-8 on the year. Cooper Rush had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Rico Dowdle was amazing last night. 131 yards on 18 carries. One would think if you're cooking like that on 18 carries, maybe you should see maybe 25 carries. Who knows? Don't want to get too bold. 28 carries. He was averaging 7.3 yards an attempt. Folks, I'm not great at math either. Every 10 yards, the chains move. It's a first down. He was averaging almost 2 first downs. First down and change every 2 carries. They chose to keep passing it. Again, they fall to 5-8 on the year. Joe Burrow, 33 for 44, 369 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Jamar Chase had 14 catches for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. But a special teams blunder really left the mark. You've seen several teams go through that throughout the course of the season. It hasn't just been literally the kicker or the punter, just special teams as a whole. And I wouldn't be shocked when we get into the postseason if special teams literally cost folks championship opportunities this year. It's been nuts all regular season. Yeah, it's hard for me to remember, just off the top of my head, how many games have been decided by block field goals this year. It's been several. You had outright wide left, wide right type misses from makeable distances. Not the hey, we're attempting from 58. Like people are smoking 40-yard field goals. Like it's nasty out here from a special team standpoint. And I know people like to, don't care about offense and some barely care about defense. Special teams are going to cost somebody. It's going to cost them dearly as we get closer and closer to the postseason. As for the Commanders, they had their bye week. They'll face the Saints in New Orleans next week, which if Marshawn Lattimore makes his Commanders debut, that will be his first game for the Commanders, will be against his former team if he makes his debut. But I'm sure Octavia will be all over that next week. Ray, the Wizards.
They had some action since the last time we saw you guys. They dropped one to Dallas on Thursday, 137 to 101. They're able to get back in the win column against Denver on Saturday. They beat the Nuggets 122 to 113. Survived the monster game from Nikola Jokic and Jordan Poole. He was just on one. He finished with 39 points. But the Wizards returned back to form on Sunday night against Memphis. They lost 140 to 112. The same issues that have been plaguing them all season reared their ugly heads in 2 of their 3 games over the last week. Poor defense, poor shot selection, just a lack of effort, like communication. Against Memphis, they couldn't keep Scottie Pippen Jr. out of the paint, and everything just crumbled from there. Jaren Jackson Jr., he also did whatever he wanted. Pretty much everybody on Memphis did whatever they wanted. Their bench scored, I believe, 76 points. It was just a pathetic showing. You and Cardell were in the building, and we talked about the ovation. What's gentleman's name from the Grizzlies? I can't remember his name right now.
Yuki.
But Yuki, yeah, just the reception he got and how that was louder than anything that anybody said about the Wizards the whole evening. I mean, and you can't blame fans because of the product they're putting on the floor. This is just super embarrassing at this point. I mean, Cardell has gone into detail about their situation with their draft pick, and we know it's a business element to basketball, but at least the skies are a little bit better than this. They're just out there just getting cardio at this point. If you're gonna if you're gonna go that route, maybe just have a whole lot of stretches with the young guys and the two-way guys. Has some funky rotations at times. We're seeing as the teams are able to make trades. We haven't seen Kuz in a minute. We kind of know what that's about. But yeah, man, he at points during the season, it just looked like the Wizards just don't know how to play basketball. We've seen, especially at the start of the season, where they looked a little more cohesive, and even during times when they're struggling during this losing streak, when they defend, they do well. The fact that at times they look like a stout defensive team, and at times they don't, it's puzzling because obviously the know-how is there. Just when they decide to do it and when they decide not to, it's it's your guess is as good as the mine why that happens. But yeah, man, and offensively, they're still shooting way too many threes. On Saturday, we talked a lot about Jordan Poole's his shot chart. He put up 23s, but he made 9 of them. Sunday, the result wasn't that favorable. So yeah, man, they just gotta be more judicious with their shot selection, be more potent offensively, and in the defensive end, they just gotta communicate and be tougher. But yeah, we get a little break. They're back in action on think they return to action on Friday. They'll be playing. They play Cleveland in Cleveland, and then they got Boston again at home on Sunday. So yeah, we see what type of time those two teams are on there at the top of the Eastern Conference. So we're just gonna pray.
Now we're just gonna pray. All right, Cardell, you got to spend a week in several gyms, but Ray already mentioned one of them. We're not going to add anything to what was experienced Sunday evening at Capital One. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. You took in the 2024 National High School Hoops Festival. As always, usually come back and let us know what young folks left an impression. So, the floor is yours.
Yeah, 2024 National High School Hoops Festival is held every year at DeMatha. This year was the first year. It had a 3-day showcase. Friday night it was at Bishop McNamara, then Saturday and Sunday, they held a showcase at DeMatha, and they brought some of the best teams and top players in high school to DeMatha, to the DMV, to Bishop McNamara to do battle. And it was I would say it was high level team play. Let me just say that. Some of the individuals might have been up and down depending on who they were facing or whatnot, but it was high level team play. And there was some excellent coaching, a lot of adjustments, a lot of different lineups to try to win. Stuff that you normally don't see on a high school level. Normally on high school, especially when it's a big showcase and stuff, they kind of just let the stars go at it, whoever the top guys are on each team. But for the most part, they came to win, and they didn't care about name or ranking or anything, and that made for some competitive basketball. But as always, there's standouts, and here am I. We're gonna start with Nate Ament, Highland School, 6'10" forward. He's a senior, undeclared at the moment. I spoke about him over the summer. He came up to the math and played in the summer league as well. He's ranked 4th in the country. Highland, if people don't know, is in Northern Virginia. Say about 45 from Alexandria West, so pretty close, but not within the DMV, just outside of it. But regardless, the kid's super talented, man. He has all the tools, 3-level scorer, fluid athlete. He's not one of like 6'10" and stiff or whatnot, like fluid, like a 6'2" guard. Plays both ends, could defend at the high school level 1 through 5, which I know is very intriguing for a lot of college coaches, because that means on college level, if he bulks up, gets stronger, he could possibly do that as well, that's the next step. He's very thin. But with his athleticism, he can overcome it at the high school level. Obviously, at college, he's going to have to add a lot of strength. But he also knows how to facilitate, make guys around him better. Has a decent IQ. He has all the tools, man, and it's just great seeing him put it all together as he continues to mature as a player. He had the double-double and a loss to, I believe they got Sidwell Friends. No, I believe they won. He had 15-10 over Sidwell Friends on Saturday, and a win over Sidwell Friends, and then Sunday they lost a close game to DeMatha. But look, man, he's the goods. It's easy to see his trajectory being towards the NBA if he does what he should do in college. And the thing is, just getting stronger. He's just getting stronger. He could, once he bulk up and stuff, he could easily be one of them 6'10" guys playing the 3-4 at the next level, because he's a fairly efficient shooter and he can move, he can defend. That's the thing. You got to be able to defend your position as you move up levels to determine if you're capable of playing at a certain position. It's not always about offense. So, he's extremely versatile, and I know whichever college program gets him, they're going to love to have him, man. And then he's pretty much on the fast track to being one and done. Next was Taj Ariza, son of Trevor Ariza. He's a junior, plays at Westchester, traditionally a California powerhouse, 6'9". I was interested in seeing him because I've been seeing, reports and clips of him, but to see him in person, One thing that jumps out is obviously his size, but he's a strong, active defender, which we all know is the family business for the Arizas. That's what they do. He also has a very good skill set. He's not as polished as some of the other guys that I'm going to talk about as far as being able to go get a bucket. But when he get to his spots and get his opportunities, he can hit the mid range. He can handle the ball, get to the basket. He can make the passes. He's still trying to figure out how to get guys open and really utilize them and really make other guys better. It's making guys better isn't just passing on the ball because they just clapping for it or they open. Making guys better is whatever skill set that is, you can consistently utilize, put them in a position to utilize that skill set to score the ball. And that's what it's all about. And he's not quite there yet, but he has the potential to get there if he continues to just work on his game and improve. The negative thing about him is attitude, body language, man. When things don't go his way, he can pout a little bit. He got to learn to just stay with it. And when he stayed, because those times where they pouted, the other team went on a run. You know what I mean? And that's what happened, and that's why they lost. But if he just stay within the game, just stay locked in and stuff with everything he brings to the table, he can change the game around, especially defensively. Like he literally can guard 1 through 5, and he's one of them guys that loves it, loves the contact, loves to hunt you down, run down, block your shot, fight over screens or whatnot. He has the physical gifts, man. It's just about maturing a little bit and just keep adding and building on his offensive skill set, and then he definitely has a shot. Next up is Adolph Country. He plays at Wasatch Academy out of Utah, 6'5" guard. Another one out of the junior class, Swiss Army knife guard, can play the 1-2 and some small forward, depending on who they're playing against. He can score from all 3 levels efficiently. Just very smart. It takes what the defense gives him. Very dangerous in the pick and roll. If you try to trap him, he sees the floor well, so he's going to find the open man, which makes it very hard to consistently trap him. And if you guard him 1-on-1, he knows how to get to the spots and knock down the mid-range shot. He can hit over threes, and he can get to the paint and finish, and get to the free throw line. So basically, he's one of those guys that is whatever you're trying to take away is something available, and I'm gonna take advantage of what's available. And that's just maturity in his game that you don't really see in players until they get to college, because the coaches force them to bring it out of you, because you have to have that at the college level to be able to consistently make an impact. And it's refreshing to see him have it being so young, just being a junior. So the sky's the limit for him as well. Next up is, I hope I don't butcher his name, Leo Dion, out of Bella Vista, national powerhouse out of Arizona, 6'10" forward, 2026, super athletic forward. I mean, super athletic. Prototype lob threat, rebounder, and rim protector. Plays with a lot of joy as well, which is contagious, man. So he loves to compete, loves to get out there and defend. You can switch him out on guards. He's comfortable in that area as well. He gets down, get the clapping. Let's do it. And then obviously with bigs, he causes them a problem because of his athleticism and his motor. You know what I mean? He alters a lot of shots. Great screener, which is great, which you need to be at his size, especially at the next level. So, with the way he screens, it opens things up for the guard to turn the corner and make plays. Or, Dion, as soon as he pretty much take a step, he's a lob threat. So even from the 3-point line, he gonna go get it. So, he provides easy baskets. Another thing that I like about him too is he crashes the offensive board, man. If he doesn't get the tip in and stuff, he's tipping it enough where it takes 2 or 3 bodies to keep him off the board and keep him from completely possessing the rebound, which allows his teammates to get in there and get easy baskets as well. So those are little things that he excels at to help you win. And that's why, I know he's coveted by a lot of big-time programs and stuff. For him, it's just building on his skill, being able to post up, go to work, either block, both hands. And he, like, we talk about all the time, look, you don't have to be a great 3-point shooter. I know that's what they're pushing at the NBA level, but forget that for a minute. Just be a reliable build out, start with the post game. You're already a great finisher, lob threat and whatnot. Start with the post game and just bid out the mid-range. Those points count, and they hurt over time. So if he can add that while he's in college, man, I mean, it can help his profile tremendously for the level after that. Another one is Luca Foss out of Archbishop Carroll, Pennsylvania, 6'6" guard, junior. He really impressed. He was very impressive, man. Like, good finisher, crafty ball handler, and an extremely versatile defender for a guard. Like, it was kind of unusual. Normally you see 6'6" guards, they kind of 1 and 2, but he can guard 1 through 4. Long arms, and he fights, he competes. So what he does is, a couple of times he got switched on the bigs and they tried to post him up, and he understood how to deny the ball, front him, just provide different looks where it made the opposing guards just be like, you know what, I don't even feel comfortable trying to pass it to him, and they had to rotate the ball. That's what I mean by his versatility as a defender. And that help side, he communicates. He rotates over to block shots or alter shots. And that's very impressive for a guard, because a lot of guards really don't do that unless they just got an easy block right there. But he was consistently trying to alter it. And he gets in there and rebounds as well. And then in transition, because he's so athletic and he's so shifty with the ball, man, he's going to get a good shot at the rim. If not, you're going to foul him and he's going to go to the free throw line and hit it. So, yeah, he's the total package, man. And he's only going to get better, just being a junior, entering his junior season. So I know he has a few, again, high majors. I expect that to keep blossoming that list. So keep an eye on him. Another one's a local player, Chris Jeffrey out of Mount Zion Prep, 6'3" guard, senior. Hit the game winner. Hit in the first game on Saturday. Hit the game winner to upset Bella Vista with Dion and another player who I will be talking about soon, Miles Sadler, point guard. Not a great shooter at all. I'm just going to be honest, get that out the way. He's not a great shooter, but that boy is relentless, attacking the basket, super strong combo guard. When he gets downhill, he is tough to guard because he's shifty enough, but when he makes contact with guards or whoever's defending him, they bounce back. And it's not willingly. So he clears space just by getting downhill because he's so strong and explosive. And then when when he creates his space, he finishes. And if he doesn't finish, he's getting to the free throw line. He can hit free throws. He's also a good scorer out of pick and roll actions where he, again, turn the corner, get downhill, or he's facilitating, which he's a pretty solid passer as well. So it's hard to come over and help, try to trap him, crowd him as he get in the paint. And sometimes even when they did crowd him, man, he still bullied his way to the basket and found a way to score. And then, that's what helped Mount Zion, who's down for most of the game, come back and beat Bella Vista. Even with a bigger lineup, more athletic lineup like Dion and them inside, he was just relentless and he kept attacking. And it's a lot of programs that could use that. Shooting is one of the easiest things you could develop. All you need is somebody to be willing to put in the work and just stick with the mechanics until the feel and the touch gets there. And, if he's willing to do that and add a jumper to what he already brings, getting downhill and being a very good passer or whatnot, man, he can jump a lot of players that's currently ahead of him. Because you don't find many guards that love the contact, that love to just bully other people to get a bucket like he does, man. That's just unusual, especially at the high school level. But he has that tenacity, man, and that's what made him stand out. Next up is a kid that needs no introduction, Caden Lewis. We saw him super young as a sophomore at the Open Run. He is the top ranked point guard in our area, one of the top ranked point guards in the country. Sidwell France, 6'3" point guard, headed to Kentucky. Got off to a slow start against Native Mint on Saturday. He did. Picked it up a little bit, but he ain't pick it up enough for them to get the win. I think he finished with about 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that. But he rebounded on Sunday in the win over Paul VI with 18 and 4 assists. Look, man, one thing earlier in his high school career, seeing him, he was a scorer. His mind was on scoring. He had a lot of shots or whatnot, but he had a great feel for the game. Now he's more shifty and he's more poised, and he understands when and how to get his shots. He's just a more mature player now with all the other details, all the tricky stuff that he has in his game. He knows when to pull it out, knows when to just keep it sound and keep it fundamental, and that keeps defenders off balance, man. You know what I mean? And he has a lot of ways to score the ball, and also knows how to run the team. One thing I especially love that wasn't there when we saw him at the open run on Saturday when he was playing against Nate Mint Highland and whatnot. When he got switched on Nate Mint, he actually guarded him. There wasn't no help. I'm fronting you. And Nate Mint tried to put him in the post, wasn't having it, banging with him, trying to deny him. And he forced Nate Mint to hit to basically take mid-range jumpers. Nate Mint couldn't get by him or bang him down, bully him down in the post, and try to take advantage of that mismatch. That, man, y'all know that made me just smile crazy, man, because so many guards, especially young guards these days, just give up. And they just make it easy, man. They just go ahead and get this so I can get the ball and try to get back at you. He wasn't having it, and that shows his competitiveness, man. And that shows the tenacity on that end of the floor that he didn't have early in his career, high school career, that he has now. And it just shows how much more round-rounded he is and why he is ranked where he is and coveted like he is, man. Yeah, the shot making and stuff we've seen in highlights prior to this weekend, yeah, that's great and all that, but he knows how to play winning basketball on both ends. And that's why Stillwell Friends has been, honestly, one of the standard programs in our area for the last few years, well, beyond that, for decades, but, definitely over the last couple of years, they're up there. And he's a big reason for that. So Kentucky's definitely getting a good one. Next up, almost finished, Miles Sadler, point guard, Bella Vista, 6 foot point guard, junior. He's a true floor general. Looks pass first, looks to makes plays for everybody else. Like I said, DM being a lob threat, he tries to get those guys points, look for them, keep them involved, take advantage of their size and athleticism. Not a great shooter as well, but quick and shifty. Once he get in his mid-range area or get to the paint, that's where he's deadly as a scorer. But defensively, passing lanes is Allen Iverson like. He plays the passing lanes extremely well for timely steals. It's like it's similar to being a lockdown cornerback. Like, he will bait the hell out you. Like, you know what I'm saying? He did it countless times over the weekend, man. You think you got a clear pass and he just stealing the ball, going down and getting an easy layup, man. So he has that in locked down, and that's also great to see. So, like I said, he's not a great shooter, but he makes up for it with the points he generates off the defensive end and making the guys around him better. But he can get better at that area, man. But, look, he has big-time offers from a lot of big-time schools out west. If you need a true floor general, that's a kid you definitely should check out. Next up, Adrian Stevens out of Bullitt School, 6'4" guard, senior, headed to Marquette. Combo guard, strong, does it all as far as being able to guard multiple positions, scoring from all three levels. I think he's unselfish to a fault. I think he's a lot better than what he realized. Sometimes, I've seen him over the years. I wish he would be more aggressive to score the ball because he's fully capable, man. But one thing I love, he accepted the challenge when they played overtime elite City Reapers, and he defended Malik Thomas. And he made Malik Thomas work a little bit, man. Didn't say much, just hopped on him and made him work, and wasn't intimidated in the least. And I'll get on Malik Thomas in a few, but the overtime elite City Reapers, those overtime elite teams are high school teams, but those are like the cream of the crop in high school basketball. Like, overtime elite, the City Reapers, they had 4 players between 6'10" and 7 feet, legit. You see what I'm saying? You're lucky to find one of those at a normal high school. They had 4 of them. So, that just tells you the different levels and talent. But, Bullets, they're a powerhouse program in our area as well, man. So they got their own talent. But look, they fought hard. Stevens was a big reason for that. He battled Thomas on both ends and whatnot. Even though Bullets came up short, he definitely impressed, man. So Marquette is a good one. I know Shaka Smart is going to whip him into shape, and I hope he brings more of an aggressive style as a scorer out of him, because I think if he does, Stevens becomes a totally different player and reaches an entirely level that I don't think he understands he can reach. Last but not least is Malik Thomas. overtime lead City Reapers, 6'4" guard, senior, headed Arkansas, top 10 player in the country. I think he's ranked 9th. He's a lethal scorer, but he's a high motor lethal scorer, if that makes sense. Like that, he don't stop. It's like how they talk about how Allen Iverson just keeps coming. He's that. He's just that. 3-pointers, mid-range, transition, mid-post, low post, lob, dunking, free throws. He's going to get buckets. He's going to put points on the board. It's nothing you can do. He just keeps coming. But what I like about him that I didn't know, because it was my first time seeing him in a full game, is that motor doesn't just turn on for scoring the ball. It's every phase of the game. He's like that on defense. He's the most vocal. You can hear him over the whole gym. Telling his teammates, yo, screen right. I got your help. He's the loudest one on the court. Leader, vocal, rugged rebounder, go in there and get you boards. He can also pass the hell out the ball, too. That's something else. So it makes it hard to try to trap him. Bullets tried a couple times to send traps in the half court. They tried to full court press him and trap him. And each time he made the right play. Got the ball back, scored. So he got him up out of there real quick and just made it a half-court game, man. So he competes like no other in every phase of the game, man. That's what separates him, man. Look, he's just more of a relentless type of player. He's not somebody like a freak of nature athlete like, say, a Derrick Rose or somebody that's just going to come down and just dunk on you or wow you. But he could getting 25, 5 and 5 for him is nothing. And that's just saying the line. I'm even talking about the next level as well. He's fully capable of doing it as well. So he's a special talent in Arkansas. I see why Calipari likes him. He's coached many a player that he has a lot of traits that, where it's just similar traits, similar ability, and similar mentality. And we all know where they ended up.
Yeah, they got a habit of ending up in the NBA somehow. I don't know how this keeps happening. Even the ones that people are somehow down on during their time with Calipari end up just okay as SGA. Remember, people were acting funny about SGA and Book when they came because they didn't have the same type of impact some of the other lead guards at then Kentucky had. But one thing Calipari does well, like you said, you go there, you end up in the place, where you gonna go.
Manual quickly on,
yeah. You end up there. I don't want to tell you. His hit rate is pretty high as far as that goes. But, what I like to hear, what I was happy to hear so often, heard defense a lot. And, it is a refreshing to hear that after what, we watched on Sunday. Hearing defense under that many times is wonderful. To hear the motor, have that many kids have motor. I'm hoping it's something where, so many things happen in cycles that's something that comes back. In a big way. But great to hear that. Definitely, as I tell you guys all the time, every time Cardell do an event, comes back, jot them names down mentally or physically what happens. You can hear these names a little bit later. All right, Cardell, we're going to slide into the college segment. You want to start there? Or you want me to start?
Yeah, I might as well continue.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Update on GW. The Revolutionaries, thanks to a 12-1 run in the second half, defeated Old Dominion 78-70. On Saturday, GW trailed by 1 at the break, 35-34, but came out with a flurry of three-pointers from Gerald Drumgoole Jr. to quickly retake the lead. It was Drumgoole that sparked the 12-1 run with another three-pointer later in the half, and Darren Buchanan Jr. provided the exclamation mark with the dunk to give the GW a 71-58 cushion with 5:50 left. GW didn't make a field goal the rest of the game, but hit enough free throws, including 5 from Drumgoole in the game's final minute, to secure the team's first non-conference road win in 8 years. First non-conference road win in 8 years. Drumgoole scored 16 points on an efficient 3 or 4 shooting day from beyond the arc, 5 or 6 from the free throw line. But the story in this game was GW's bench. They scored a season-high 34 points. Redshirt freshman Christian Jones led the way with the career-high 17 points and 7-8 shooting to go along 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Sean Hansen notched his first double-digit effort for GW with 10 points and 7 rebounds. Trey Autry contributed 7 points off the bench as well. Buchanan gave GW 4 in double figures with 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. GW shot 60% after halftime and finished at 48% on the day. And made 23 of 37 from the free throw line. Definitely got to improve that, but it was enough to get the win. GW will return home for 3 straight games starting this Friday as they take on Army West Point at 7 p.m.
All right, on to Maryland women's basketball. Get this, you guys, real quick. All right, the Terps beat Mount St. Mary's last Tuesday while we were recording. I acknowledged it, didn't mention it too much. They did what they were supposed to do. They won 87-52 at Xfinity, moving their record to 9-0. Over the weekend, they officially started conference play, which is what's on the screen now, on the road at Purdue. The Boilermakers got off to a really strong start. They built a 16-point lead at one point. Maryland found themselves trailing 31-15 with 5:41 left in the first half. They would make a push to close the half, cutting it to 9. Try to move this ahead a little bit as we get to the third quarter, because that's when Bree McDaniel let everybody know that she still plays at Maryland, and her coming off the bench is a hell of a luxury. She had 16 points on the day, 13 of which came in the third quarter. Maryland needed every one of those points. It helped them take control of the game. She capped off an 8-0 run late in the third quarter. And look, man, that's a hell of a time to do all your damage when your team needs it. And we saw glimpses of that early in the non-conference play. Her just kind of just really taking charge of that new role where they're a deeper team, they're a bigger team. The luxury of her coming off the bench is just not really fair. She was a starter last year. And one of the things that's happened is with her, once she gets going, she's a capable enough playmaker. She started getting Kayleen Spikel going. Cardell, you already know. You love Christina Dolce already, the impression that she made on you in a short time. She had a big game as well with double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Sarah Poffenberger continues to get more comfortable for Maryland. All right, 17 points, 12 of which came in the second half. So both her and Bree McDaniel got busy during winning time. She also had 12 rebounds. Cheyenne Sellers with 12 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. And Kayleen Spikel, who for the most part, it feels like you look up, she always has 20 points. She had 13 in this one, but 5 Terrapins scored in double figures, and Purdue was led by Rashunda Jones, 17 points. Maryland, as you can see, they're now up to 7th in the AP polls, so shout out to them for that. As Cardell mentioned, it's that time of the year. Folks getting ready for finals. A little quiet time as far as it pertains to the court. Then things will get going, and then we're going to see a lot of them in January when conference play really gets rolling. Some heavy hitters, people tuning up. Cardell, I were talking earlier, rotations around the country on both the men's and the women's side shall shorten. Everybody is not as deep as it appears during non-conference. We are rapidly approaching that part of the year. So looking forward to that. I know they get back to business, I think, Friday. So, I'll check in with you guys next week with more Maryland women's basketball. All right, Cardell, take it or leave it. Rapid fire, where you want to start at?
Yeah, got one for take it or leave it. AJ DeBosta, 6'9" wing player who is the #1 prospect in high school basketball and the projected #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, announced his commitment to BYU Tuesday morning. DeBosta, who made his announcement on ESPN First Take, chose the Cougars of Alabama, North Carolina, and Kansas. He becomes the first 5-star recruit to commit to BYU since the ESPN recruiting database began in 2007. Quote, at BYU, the whole staff from the head coach on down came from the NBA. DeBosta told ESPN, head coach Kevin Young coached my favorite player, Kevin Durant, and coach Devin Booker. Both had a lot of good things to say about him. We watched clips of both. DeBosta officially signed with BYU during the early signing period, sources told ESPN, but didn't make his decision public until Tuesday. The school received his papers in the final hours of the signing period, which ended November 20th. BYU had positioned itself toward the top of DeBosta's list shortly after Young, the Cougars' new head coach, took over last spring. Young flew to meet DeBosta's parents during the NBA playoffs last spring when he was still on the Phoenix Suns staff, and then hosted DeBosta for a visit in late June. DeBosta also took his final official visit to BYU's campus in October. DeBosta consistently pointed to all of the NBA ties at BYU. Even the program strength and conditioning coach, Michael Davey, was with the Milwaukee Bucks, and the director of nutrition, Daniel LaFada, came from the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury. Quote, Coach Young's NBA background played a big factor in my decision, Boston said. Came from the NBA. He coached NBA players. You cannot get any closer to where I want to be. Take it or leave it. AJ's decision to attend BYU. Ray, we're going to start with you.
I mean, he highlighted, the experience of the guys on the coaching staff as a big part of his decision. So, I mean, I'll take that, seeing as how in about a year's time or so, that's where we'll end up most likely. But forget all that, man. What the NIL deal look like? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Times have changed, man. Like you pointed out, the first 5-star recruit in the history of the school since ESPN started tracking this. Just much success to the young man. Like school's gonna have to really start recruiting these guys. It's just not off name anymore.
Wilson.
Hey man, it's almost like if somebody's preparing to go somewhere and you don't have what they need, they're probably not gonna, consider you. It's really simple. Like, we're in a time where I'm not trying to be rude and petty, but some of them schools, the names don't mean what they used to mean. It's not the 70s, 80s, and or 90s or early 2000s. So, so some of your, I'm not gonna name schools, just some of y'all who haven't quite been who you were or who people have known you to be, but you're not currently. Yeah, man, you can't expect those same things anymore. Also, NIL, right? There's a lot of schools who've had money, but there was no reason to reach to their donors for said money because some of this stuff didn't seem feasible. Now that you open up and it's the Wild Wild West, people about to really be shocked that, like, y'all think Brigham Young universities alumni don't have deep pockets? Like, they just didn't have anything to spend it on. Now they do. And again, shout out to the NBA staff. Like, again, if I want to get somewhere, and the kid listed everybody, pretty much the whole damn staff, as having experience to the place I want to get, what are we talking about? Like, because again, some of these other places, no disrespect, the people that made y'all what they were, they're not there. The recent success doesn't track. Some of these staffs pale in comparison to what BYU has to offer from an NBA standpoint. You can't just, I think people got to get it out their mind like that old, so-and-so, it's this school, it's that school. Right? This ain't the 90s. In the 90s, that school was that, or early 2000s or whatever. It's 2024. A lot of the coaches that build those things, they have left this sport, and with them went the aura that they had during that time went with them. It doesn't mean the same. Like, it's still a great program. Some of the programs he didn't choose, but it's not like he was saying no to Dean Smith or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Coach K is somebody like that's not what he said no to. So shout out to that young man. I thought it seems like a very informed, mature decision. And I need everybody to just, whether you're a fan of your favorite school didn't get him or not, you just got to come to terms with it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, super talented kid. According to reports, obviously no one, a legit source. But until obviously the school or somebody let that out, we really don't know. But they said it's around $7 million when he got from BYU alum and Utah Jazz owner Ryan Smith. But he would have got that in many schools. You know what I'm saying? He's just that special of a talent. So people, people on my IG talking about, that bag, the NIL. He would have got that money anywhere. But BYU, that's unique. You see what I'm saying? And I love what he said. That NBA preparing me for the next level was essential. Having a staff that knows what it's about, what it takes, was essential. And to be honest, you need both to go after these type of players. You can't. It's not enough just to have one or the other. You can have a staff full of NBA guys, but if you ain't got the NIL, you're not gonna be able. They're not even gonna look your way. So you got to draw them in with the NIL, but then they go, all right, I'm gonna take a look at you, but what you got there? And if the pedigree, the coaching staff, the player development program, the roster, wins and losses, stuff, if that's not there, they're not coming. And to me, that's just smart. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are on the league. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to make as much as they can while they're in college, and then go to the league and try to build off of that, build off their value and stuff like that. And I like how his parents and family not just going with the status quo and him. You know what I'm saying? They look, I need somebody that's going to build me up. And it doesn't matter which school I'm at. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's the coaching staff that's there is able to understand my weaknesses and have a plan to help me get better, I'm going to be ahead of the game and I can hit the ground running, you know, if I do what I'm supposed to do and be in position for the number one pick. And I love it, man. This kid is, you know, super talented. I know, you know, it's been a lot of comparisons to All World Wings. You know, you heard stronger Brandon Miller. You hear T Mac. You hear Kawhi. I don't quite see Kawhi because Kawhi was a defensive, you know, just his 6'8", his 6'9" frame and his size and stuff and athleticism. Man, I'm gonna throw a comp out there people not thinking about. He remind me of Len Bias. You know, with the motor he has and how he dunks on cats and how he attacks the basket and how he thrives in the mid-range. Neither one were quite three-point shooters. Obviously, in the 80s, three-point shooting wasn't as prevalent as it is now. But being automatic in the mid-range, being able to mid-post, low post, lob threat, and being evil when they attack the basket. Like, evil, like, I'm here to dunk. Like, I'm not – only way I'm taking the layup is if I just can't get to the dunk, though. Like, that's it, bro. You know what I'm saying? The athleticism and being competitive, that's the thing that remind me of Len. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people may not say Len because we don't know what he would have became in the league, obviously, but you can kind of forecast like a mug, man, because of what he did at Maryland in the ACC when the ACC was the best conference in the country. So both are special talents, man. They both got the similar skill sets. AJ's a little bit more shifty off the bounce and whatnot. Len just got to his spots and made to do what he do, but everything else is pretty similar, man, including the size and athleticism and mentality. So, yeah, I love everything about the kid. Like, normally when you see number one, you know, last few years, it'd be a number one ranked player. You be like, all right, I hear you. Yeah, we'll see. But then, this kid one of the ones like, oh, shit, yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a legit. And I love the fact that he's kind of shook up the basketball world, especially college basketball world, because that's what I've been, you know, even when I talk to youngins, I'm like, bro, with social media and all these eyes and stuff like that, bro, it really doesn't matter where you go no more. As long as you're on the floor producing, you're going to be seen. You're going to be seen. That, like Wilson said perfectly, all that stuff we grew up on, man, you got to go to the Blue Bloods, you got to go to this conference. That shit don't apply no more. Because as you've been seeing this year, a lot of these bigger time programs been getting their butts whooped too. I'm just saying, getting rough. These two guys, NAIA All-Americans, getting rough in the draft as well. So I love it because it's putting parity within college basketball, but it's also making it clear that for you to become that, you can't get there off hype no more. You got to be that. You got to be that dude. And your game got to match it. Your game got to be on point to warrant an NBA look. Otherwise, yeah, let me go get this mid-major or this low major. I trust what I see, more consistent. Let me go get that. Yeah, and we'll see what it is, man. So, hey, man, it's gonna be an interesting season. But yeah, I love what I saw out of the kid, and I love that they made this decision because now, you know, moving forward, a lot of the top prospects gonna be like, you know what? Shoot, AJ did it. I don't need to do it either. I don't need to just go to the same old schools and stuff. I'm gonna go with what fits me, and then make it do what it do. Now we're gonna move to rapid fire. A very great interview came out today. Caitlin Clark was named 2024 Time Magazine Person of the Year. And in an exclusive interview with Time, she shared her thoughts on a number of topics that were constantly tied to her throughout her rookie season. Two I wanted to highlight and talk about. One was obviously the racial underpinnings of her stardom. Clark was very aware. Quote, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think is very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. I want to ask y'all about this first, and then I'll move on to the other one. But what are your thoughts on that first passage right there, Wilson?
I'm happy she came out to say it, because it kind of takes away some of the and this is not to say that I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. Because she hadn't spoke on it before, it gave people the room to go however far left or right they wanted to go, because it wasn't anything on wax, right? So those on, the far extremes to that side and the far extremes to the other side, you could fill up an arena with whatever you wanted to fill it with, because she never truly spoke on it. And I'm happy that she did, because now it's on wax. So now you can't be like, well, since she didn't come out against it, then she's for it. No, this is here. This is a nice declaration. Obviously, would have loved this earlier. However, I'm not going to judge anybody for that. It's still a young woman. It is what it is. But I'm happy she came out and put it on wax. And I hope it's something where, and this is what I would challenge the media that always likes to go and find her and only her, those members of the media that like to do that. Don't stop now. Keep that same up. Well, if this is where she's at, which great, that's where she's at. Don't get shy with the camera now. Keep it up, so that message can be reverberated as loud as any of the other ones that may have been able to take the space, because we had a lot of crap just ruin this W season. Mm-hmm. So much crap, dude. And I get it. Like, you're a rookie. She had a lot on her plate. What have you? Again, I'm not going to judge. What is she, 22 or something like that? I'm not going to judge her for getting through a rookie year. And this has probably been a wild 2 years for her. Cool. Everybody's different. I'm not going to do that for her. But for all the people who took the absence of her speaking as backing some of their really nasty and vile positions, stop. It's official. Stop. Let it go. And then some of the people that were allowing that to happen because she hadn't spoke on it, and those people know who they are, that choosing to frame things the way they want to frame it, stop, because it's on wax. So I'm happy it's on wax, because that does several things. Because the last time someone her age said that, they kind of just took some of the microphone and stuff away. We don't want to hear you talk anymore. But her draft class is coming up very soon, so we'll see what happens. If they're both saying similar things, now what? Because I think Mike's got a little bit quiet on some W players that have said that as well, taking that position. But again, I'm happy that it's on wax for those vile people who felt otherwise and kind of used her and the idea of her to just be evil and spread evil.
Right.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with Wilson. The fact that she's taking a loud, firm stance on where she is with that topic, it cuts out a lot of the nonsense. So at this point, if you continue to try to push a narrative that she's clearly spoken against, then it's obvious what you are. I mean, it was obvious before, but now you're just directly going against what the player you're a supposed fan of has said. So yeah, the fact that she just came out and plainly said it should be a step in the direction of leveling this topic out. But yeah, and Wilson brought up another good point. We all saw Paige's SB speech, kind of echoing the same sentiments, and we saw what happened after that. Caitlin had a phenomenal freshman year. The fanfare in the media wasn't around her like that until later on, and I honestly believe that was as a result of kind of taking the mic out people's face because they wasn't saying what you wanted them to say, as Wilson alluded to. So yeah, like you said, man, she's a young woman. It's a lot to kind of navigate. I think she's starting to understand the position she's in after what we saw unfold over the past couple of years or so. And she just feels like she's got to voice herself in some way, and I'm just glad she did it. At worst, it's a perfectly crafted PR response. At best, this is how she genuinely feels, and she'll conduct herself as such moving forward. So, yeah, she just seems like the type that just wants to come out and hoop. But when stuff is happening like what we just saw, and you're kind of the linchpin, I mean, it would do us all well for her to step out and say something definitive on it. I'm just glad she did it, especially on such a large platform.
Yeah, just like I agree with both of y'all, everything y'all said. But even more so, I think just understanding like the transition from high school to college is tough. Even harder to go to the pros. But then I can only imagine when the whole world was just boom on you. So I know at 22, she handled it a lot better than I would have. I'm just gonna be honest, especially with my temperament at the time. You just gotta be real with yourself. She handled it a lot better than I would have. So I can give her the grace to understand. She probably was just so overwhelmed with just trying to figure out the WNBA with her place and figure that out because they started off rough, with losing games. She first 2-3 weeks, she probably lost more games than than she did in the last who knows, maybe her entire college career. She like, what the hell? You see what I'm saying? So she's trying to figure out not just the league, but her game within the league. That's a mother. That's a mother. And I can relate on the smallest because that's what happens in college. You try to move up a level, you're trying to figure things out, and it's tough. It's a hard adjustment at first. So I can give her that. But as when she started figuring out the league, starting to get more comfortable. And then as the vitriol grew, and I think when she saw her teammates going through it, I think that's when she started realizing, like, yo, what's really going on? Like, what the hell? And then after the season, she had time to just kind of decompress and really absorb and really, all right, enough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad she said this, man, because, you're right. Like, even the first game when she came to DC, they moved to Capital One, they played the Mystics, and the people y'all both were just referring to were deep outside in the DC. All you saw was Fever jerseys. And it's clear that they weren't there to support for the right reasons, for just genuine reasons. I'm here to see a basketball game. This girl, I like her game. I'm a Fever. No, they were there because it's like she's the great white hope. And when we would say that, people would take that as we're hating on Caitlin. No, she has done nothing wrong. She's just playing basketball and being great at it. Respect. But a lot of other people took that to bring their own agenda into this situation. And we've been covering the WNBA for years. Like, I don't think people understand where they have gone since even like a decade ago when we first started covering them. From Capital One where the Mystics playing, and they were competitive. Ivory Ladder was holding it down AI style. Before Delano, she was holding it down. And it was like just 4 rows around the arena field. The first 4 rows, you may see sprinkles around the arena. And people didn't care like they should have. But the ladies get hooped. So wasn't much investment in it. You see what I'm saying? We remember the tough times. We remember that. Hardly any media. We remember that. Except with Tarazi and Sue Bird and them came to town. The heavy hitters came to town. The UConn ladies. Let's call it what it is. They came to town. You got to understand the position of, and I'm talking to the people that think we were just hating on her when we weren't. We was hating on the barrage of negativity being thrust upon the entire league and everyone else in the league because of her. And that's not right. You put her in a bad spot. And so guess what? The players, just keep it real, the sisters in the league all right, we can't get at all y'all on social media, and when we walking down the street, y'all, when we playing and stuff, y'all in the stands talking shit. We can't get at y'all, so we gonna take it out on her. We gonna get at y'all through her, and that's why I look like y'all just being so mean and stuff. And I've seen a whole lot of former athletes, especially on the NBA side, dudes talking all that trash. I'm like, y'all, some of y'all full of it. Because if y'all was in the same picture, y'all would have been even more vicious, dog. Y'all have been throwing elbows, taking them out the sky. Like, stop lying. Because y'all mad at what's going on. But you gotta give her grace because it's just she young, man. Like I'm trying to deal with these monsters here, dog. Like, this is different. And she even stated that in an article about the difference in college. Like, no disrespect. WNBA players a lot better than smarter, dog. Like, it ain't even close. Like, I was looking at it in college, like, y'all really not going to triple? Like, what are y'all doing? I'm going to bomb y'all there. See what I'm saying? So it's just unfortunate that all that negativity surrounded it. Because, like, yeah, we're basketball fans at the end of the day. We're basketball people. I know we work in the basketball field, but we want to see great basketball. You don't want all that negativity. And y'all ruined a great season. It's a great season, bringing all that extra negativity into something. Calling her the greatest of all time in her rookie year and stuff like that. And that's why even a quote that made me even smile more, she highlighted the foundation of this league being built on the backs of all-time great sisters. And she knows like, no, I'm not here without them. This league ain't here without them. So for y'all to dismiss all of that and just put me in the forefront, that's not fair. Let me earn that. Now, she earned all her accolades. She earned it. I gotta go back and look at that all WNBA team because Ionescu should have been first. But we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the Liberty was destroying people and she was cooking. We gotta call a spade, dog. And that's the privilege of what happened. I'm just gonna leave. Look, I'm trying to be real, but we gotta be honest. We gotta be honest, man. So you can't do that, man, because you put her in a bad spot. And I know, and how I knew she wasn't like that, because at first you didn't know. But how I knew she wasn't like that was how they got off to that rough start, and her team started to rally around her as the season progressed. I'm like, all right, if she was like that, it would have just been hell. You know, like, hey, deal with it, Rook. This your world, fuck it. I don't like you. You know, you on that time. But now they rallied around her, and then they became close. And now they got some built. We gonna see. You know what I mean? They fired the coach. We ain't gonna get it. That's a whole nother discussion. But they had hella momentum, man. Yeah, hey, bro. It is what it is, man. But it's not hate, man. You respect everybody. And like she said, it's a lot of money that's owed to them old legends, man, that built this thing up. Because they really did get done wrong. They really did. You see what I'm saying? So it's all time. It's been great players before, man. And just for them to just dismiss, and then all the people that jumped on the bandwagon who we knew never saw a WNBA game in their life and just pulled up because of the hype machine just to be seen and get views and all that stuff, all that fake stuff, man. Come on, man. It was just BS, man. I'm glad she pointed all that out as well. The last part I wanted to talk about is obviously what I just mentioned. She spoke on adjusting to the rigors of the WNBA. And Ray, we're going to start with you after I get done reading her quote. Professional players and professional coaches, this is no disrespect to college women's basketball, are a lot smarter. She says, I love women's college basketball, but if you go back and watch the way people guarded me in college, it's almost like concerning. They didn't double me. They didn't trap me. They weren't physical. And it's hard. It's college. A lot of those women will never go on to play another basketball game in their life. They don't have the IQ of understanding how the game works. So I completely understand it. And it's no disrespect at all. They don't have the IQ. You have to simplify for girls at that age. Obviously, that made me smile because some of us predicted that was going to be the case when she first came into the WNBA. But Ray, we would share your thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. It's good that it came from the horse's mouth. You know, and for anybody to think that she didn't understand that is foolish. You know, based on just how great of a player she is and how she studies the game, like, she had to know that it was gonna be some growing pains, you know. And And it was, y'all just pointed out though that the early part of the season was hell for her. I believe they got off to a 1-8 or 1-9 start or something like that. She was sniffing double-digit turnovers every game. She had to learn her new teammates, adjust to the different level of athleticism, skill, and physicality of the WNBA. But eventually, she figured it out. Like you said, man, many people said there was going to be an adjustment period. What I didn't expect was for her to make those adjustments so soon, because that second part of the season, she
Iowa,
yeah, she was comfortable. She wasn't sped up, flustered. No, she was going through her stuff. Like I expected that to kind of come maybe that time her second year, because like you said, man, the W is a monster. This a comparison I like to make. Like, it's only 144 spots. That's like taking the top third of the talent of the NBA and making a league out of it. Now imagine how hard it would be to compete in a league that's like that. But yeah, man. And I think her knowing that helped her, because I'm sure there were times during those struggling periods with the fever that she was just like, man, I got to figure this out. But, she kind of knew there was some light at the end of the tunnel. So, and of course, she's an athlete and competitor, so she just kept working and working. But again, man, it just quells a lot of the nonsense that was going around, claiming this hate to saying somebody will have to play better to have good results in the professional league. I just don't understand how that can be misconstrued as hating, but here we are. But again, man, yeah, just glad she came out and just pulled out of it the rest. And like you pointed out at the top, man, it was a great interview, man. I implore everybody to read it in its entirety. And she got a good head on her shoulders, and yeah, but again, and now comes your favorite part, when the scouting report catch up. They kind of know what she's bringing now. So this second year, I just look forward to her continuing to elevate and see how the league responds.
Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, some of us try to tell y'all this stuff, during college, because we actually watched her before all y'all got in on it and thought it was cool. I remember I was telling Cardell and Ray about her freshman year, first time I saw her, because I was like, "Who the hell is this? This ain't normal." Usually Maryland's be walking through the Big Ten, having a grand old time walking through the Big Ten at that point, and even to that point, for everything she did in the Big Ten, you could kind of see where you could kind of project what stuff might look like against W teams, because hate to break this to some of y'all who just started getting into women's basketball, all college teams aren't built with fully W like rosters or talent on their rosters. So because of where she played, there was only a handful of times each year, if that, where she really had to deal with the type of stuff that people could throw at her. Like, Brenda had time. Brenda was like, boxing one. Right. And just had time, and they boxed and won her and switched up the defenders. So the defenders had rests and breaks for the one. Like, everybody can't do that. But what we saw was Maryland, even at the time, they had one or two folks that had W size and athleticism. And you saw that, there's no more getting to the paint, or I'm not getting downhill today at all. We started going further and further back to settle in for deeper and deeper shots. That's not to say she didn't have great games against Maryland, but at the same time, her first win against Maryland was in her senior year. And it's not like Maryland was outstanding during the time. They're going through a lot of stuff roster-wise, injuries and whatnot. But one thing Brenda does is usually somebody that's going to be making a W on them rosters. At some point in time, there's always somebody. But again, that size, the athleticism, and then the coaching. And we saw it when they got to dealing with South Carolina. Right? Everyone just wasn't able. Like, you might know what you wanted to do, but like she said, some of those girls, they're not playing past college. So you couldn't implement the things to put the cuffs on her to a degree. But we saw the deeper they got in the tournament, those teams got time and resources and bodies to do just that, to limit her, to bother her, and take things away from her. So yeah, and we all know what the W is. That's nothing but what Ray say, 143 other people to do just that. Or you can take some off because some are on her team, but yeah, man, it's tough sledding. We've seen many a good college player come to the league and nah, dog, this ain't that. You brought up Sabrina. It took a little bit.
Man.
Kelsey Plum, it took a little bit. And again, I think one of the things for Caitlin that's good for her is just the size that she has. Obviously, I know Sabrina had that too, but Sabrina ain't really get going until some different teammates. And the luxury while everyone's sitting there hating her teammates and she was back at Iowa. Aaliyah Boston wasn't at Iowa. They didn't have one of them. So we can stop that right now. Kelsey Mitchell, nothing that would have been walking through Iowa's doors. Things like that really helped her and gave her a chance to, like you said, make the adjustments because she wasn't out there fending for herself. But yeah, I'm happy with the adjustments she made. I'm looking forward to year 2, like Ray said. But yeah, just please put some respect on the W. And some of us that have been covering it for Lord knows for how long, maybe, just maybe, since we've been there, by choice, not when y'all wrote in, but by choice, we might know what we're talking about. Just take a little bit of heed to it, man. Please try. I know that's hard these days.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as nice. We know more than y'all because we more experienced than y'all. Take it how y'all want to take it. Nah. Hey, I'm at that point. Gotta hit them back. They've been throwing jazz, all that professional. Nah, we know more than y'all because we seen more. And it goes back to what you were saying about Brenda boxing one. She knew how to deal with that because I don't know, she was playing the UConns of the world where they were sending like 5+ players to the WNBA. Or maybe Kelsey Mitchell played in the same conference. The shit she was doing.
Lord Almighty, what Kelsey Mitchell did to Maryland.
When I was mad, I was mad, dog. I was like, man, what the man, I'm like, dog, this is bad. And ironically, and this is the great thing why I respected Caitlin, she changed her game. She came in playing Iowa, Caitlin, which is to be expected because you're coming straight from a college floor and you playing. It's not like the fellas, they get summer league, they get pre-draft workouts, they get a grace period to kind of get acclimated, then you're going to see what it is later in a few months. Now, the ladies get drafted, college season ends, get drafted, let's go. It's a whirlwind. And you are in the habit of being Iowa, Caitlin. So she came in trying to play that way, and them sisters was up in her. Like we told you was going to happen. We were there rookie year. INS first game here in D.C. When Natasha Cloud, Ariel Atkins did to her, they should have been arrested for that. Actually, I loved it because, defender, I'm like, yeah, got up. They sent the message like, all that Oregon stuff, that don't play here. It took her a minute. To figure it out. And now you can see she's enjoying giving it back now, but it took a minute. You see what I'm saying? But that's what Caitlin had to adjust to. The physicality, they getting up in it like, bro, yeah, out here by half court, I'm still up in you. You ain't doing none of that. Caitlin had to figure out, well, damn, I'm not in Iowa. I'm not really by myself, so to speak. Oh, I got help. When she started utilizing her help, she started playing off her assists instead of getting her assists off the scoring. That's when Indiana turned the corner and they became a monster. So now it's like teams like, we can't deal with her. Like you hesitate, she gonna find a Leah, and what do Caitlin do best? She can shoot. Oh, you hesitate, I got daylight, it's automatic. Now teams arguing with each other and stuff like that, and it's tough. That's when she figured it out. So you gotta that's when you gotta give her credit. She built for it. You see what I'm saying? Because it take a lot of players. Some players don't figure it out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say her name, but had an NBA presentation. Former #1 pick out the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, the WNBA is hard, man. Like, do you understand how many All-Americans, top international players and stuff, they get drafted or come to camp and they get cut and stuff? It's real. Like it wasn't a couple years ago, rookies from out of college complaining like, man, these vets need to just move over and stuff, man. Let it go, man. Like, shorty, what the hell are you talking about? You got to beat them. That's why you got cut. You ain't even got the right mindset. You got to beat them out, and they're proven. Yeah, if it's close between the proven one and the unproven one, if it's close, I'm going with the proven one. It's common sense. Because if I go with you and you ain't ready, you're going to cost me games. If it's enough games, I'm unemployed. Welcome to big girl basketball. It's a business now. So it's just, you got to understand that, man. Like, all world ladies in college got it done. And in the WNBA, they get there, you just like, nah, player, hey, overseas it is. Because this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't it. So you got to give her credit for that, man. But I'm happy she acknowledged it because it's also sent a message to the rest of these young ladies. Because guess what? She's not the last one. There are a couple other ladies in college, young ladies, being hyped up. Oh, you're going to revolutionize the game of basketball. One at USC. She already now got humbled by Notre Dame. My girl, they ain't even talk about a dog went in there. What? We would say, what? Talk about me. Like, it's real. And they talk about her, she going to revolutionize because y'all just started paying attention. I'm like, I saw Candace Parker in her prime. No, I saw Diana Taurasi in her prime. No, I saw the Minnesota Lynx in their prime.
Here we go.
Simone Augustus, Rebecca Brunson, Lizzie Wheeler, all of them in their prime, running through the league. Maya Moore was a mother. Like, y'all forget y'all don't even talk about her. Tamika Catchings, saw her at her prime. Like, she was getting, like, she was getting like 20 plus 10 rebounds, making it look easy. And playing all WNBA defense. Like, what do we, like, y'all, it's like, how y'all forget about that? I'm seeing Brittany Griner drop step dunking on people when she was in the, y'all kill, like, this shit don't even make sense, bro. Candace Parker came here. Her and Nneka Ogwumike was in the front court together with the Sparks. Like, y'all really think, like, do y'all understand? Like, we saw the 2019 Mystics, what they did to the league. That won't be duplicated like that for a long time. Even the Liberty, as great as they were this year, it didn't match that. And Mystics were playing with people. It was like the Warriors.
Dog, I go a year before that. The Seattle teams with veteran Sue, Baby Stewie, and Jewel were on crack. That wasn't fair.
Oh, Sue Bird murdering you with just 10 assists. But it felt like she got 40. And don't have turnovers like for the whole season. Like, who does that? She be like 6 for 6, 10 assists, no turnovers, dog. Just running the team. Like, outstanding basketball. And y'all really gonna try to convince us that seeing all this, that basketball just reached a new level and this is the first time we've seen an all-world basketball? Like, come on, man. Like, that's the stuff that pisses us off. So I'm glad she acknowledged it. Like, yo, it's a transition. Like, I'm just trying to tell y'all, ladies, it's real. Be careful. Like, know what you're doing. Put the work in. So that's all I'm saying, man. And basically, all she was just saying, like, stop the BS and respect everybody here because everybody can go. So now we're gonna see what she come back next year with. Because if she's the player who I feel she is, she's gonna be even nasty next year. Because now she got time to, all right, I know I'm gonna work on this. And the one thing I kept saying is you gotta work on your defense and you gotta get stronger. So now if she gets stronger, they trying to bully her, and if she ain't moving, I'm like, uh-oh. Oof. Oh boy. Woof. This shit might be bad now. She just might be bully time. And that's how it usually goes. Because Taurasi came in like that. She got knocked around a little bit, but then she started bullying people, talking more shit than anybody, just lighting them up, doing all, like, it was bad, bro. Like, dog, it was crazy, man. So, but you would know that if these people watch the games before. Oh, better yet, man. And see, this is stuff. Last thing before it pisses me off. Before you talk, man, as journalists, a big part of our job is researching. These games are on YouTube. Just go back and watch, dog. But I know some people so stuck on what they want to see and whatever they trying to say, they still won't believe their eyes and what they're seeing. But I promise you, it's not a movie, dog. It really happened. It's not scripted. They were really playing that good. I promise you, dog. Just go back and research and understand there have been great players before Caitlin. There are great players now with her in the league. And when she's done, they're going to be even more great players. Embrace them all, though. Embrace them all, man. Because they all can play. Otherwise, they won't be here. The common denominator is teams that run a franchise in a competent way and winning. That's going to separate all the players. Simple as that, man.
If only it were so easy. And the weirdest part is y'all love being in people's faces who you love deeming the best, but y'all somehow conveniently ignore when they tell you who they watched. Because if you listen to that key part, it's the names that you choose to disrespect. But we're going to move on. We appreciate you guys for spending time with us this week. Don't forget to get over to thefocustv.com, get on our Roku channel for various other programming. You know, we got all around. We got Wizards Outlook. We got Mystics Outlook when it is in season, and we are rapidly approaching W season because for whatever reason, it feels like it doesn't ever go away. You know, again, they just had the expansion draft, which we talked about, I think, a little bit last week. So keep an eye on that. We're about to hit conference playing college basketball, which means the WNBA draft is like 2 weeks away. That's the rules. That's how it goes. It goes that quick. All right, so we'll see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all as always.